Hello everybody, hello. So in today's tutorial I am going to show you how to make this beautiful crochet hair bow with a pin. Let me just show you how it looks like. Yeah, so this is the pin I am talking about. So I'm going to show you how to make this very beautiful hair bow and using the houndstooth stitch. So let's begin. Okay, so you're going to need two different colors of yarns, and I'm using my 50-gram yarns, different colors, but I'll be double stranding them, and my 5mm hook. You'll also need a yarn needle and scissors. We are going to start with this part here. Now let's begin. So first of all, you're going to make a slip knot. After making a slip knot like this one here, you'll just yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop to chain, and I am going to chain 40 for this project. You can also make any number that you want. It depends on how big you want that part of the hair bow to be. So mine is 40. So this is chain 40. After chaining 40, you're going to find your very first stitch, the very first chain one that we made, like that, and then you're going to make a slip stitch in that very first chain, and remember to weave in the loose end. So I'm going to bring it up so that I can weave it in and make a slip stitch like that, and then you're going to chain one. After chaining one like that, you're going to go into that very stitch. You're going to make a single crochet. Yes, so next, into the next chain you are going to make a double crochet. So remember, we are working with the houndstooth stitch. You're going to make a double crochet. So pull through two, and the next one you're going to make a single crochet. So you will be alternating between single crochets and double crochets until you finish the whole round. So next you're going to make a double crochet, and then a single crochet. So it's single crochets, double crochets, single crochets until you are done. And remember, I am weaving in the end, the loose end that we had, and then you're going to make a single crochet. Just make sure that the end is very neat, it is weaved in very neatly. A double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that the whole of this round, and then I'll get back to you. La 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 la. Okay guys, so now we are almost done with the round, and I just wanted to show you guys how you finish off the round. Okay, so let's watch this. So this is a double crochet, a single crochet, and a double crochet. Again, we are left with 3 stitches: a double crochet, a single crochet, and then we are left with only 1 stitch, which will be a double crochet there. So that is the last stitch. We're going to make a double crochet. Remember, we started with a single crochet, so that's a double crochet, and then in the single crochet that we made, the very first one, you're going to make a slip stitch that way. And now we are going to do something different. So we are going to introduce a new color, right? Okay, we're going to bring in the white yarn. The white yarn, you are going to make a slip knot like that, and you're going to bring up the loop in this other loop that we are the yellow loop. So you're going to bring up the loop like that, and then remember we are not cutting off the yellow yarn because we're going to use it all through. So you're going to chain one with the white yarn, and remember to weave in the white yarn that we have left, the ends that we have left there, okay? So after chaining one, you are going to make a double crochet. Remember the first one that we made was a single crochet in the yellow round. So that means we're going to work a double crochet. So wherever you work a single crochet, on top of it you're going to work a double crochet. So that is what you're going to do. You're going to be alternating between double crochets and single crochets. So the last one there we made a single crochet, and now we have done a double crochet. Next it was a double crochet, now you're doing a single crochet. Next a double crochet. So on top of each single crochet you make a double crochet, and on top of each double crochet you make a single crochet. So I hope you are seeing what I'm doing in the video. So it's just alternating between double crochets and single crochet. So if the last round you did a double crochet, on top of it you make a single crochet. So I'm going to do that until I finish this round. So if you get confused, just watch what I'm doing in the video. So for example, that is a double crochet, I'm working a single crochet on top of it on that stitch. So let me go around and show you how it looks. So I have gone all around and now I am almost done, and I just want to show you how I finish off the round again. So that's a single crochet, a double crochet, and then a single crochet. Remember we ended with a double crochet in the previous round, so that means we have ended with a single crochet. And on top of the double crochet that we did, the very first one, you're going to make a slip stitch that way, and we are going to bring in the yellow yarn again. That is why we did not cut it off. So you're going to pull up the loop and then tighten the white yarn. Okay, so remember we started with a double crochet. That means we're going to start with a single crochet on top of it. So you're going to chain one like that, and then in the very first stitch you make a single crochet because we started with a double crochet. So we're going to make a single crochet after chaining one, a single crochet, and then we move next to a double crochet because we had a single crochet down there, and then a single crochet, a double crochet, and continue with the same pattern, a single crochet, a double crochet, and we are going to do that the whole round. So at this point I believe that you are able to do that. You are able to move to the next rounds. So I'm going to continue and make other more rounds, and I'll let you know how many rounds I have gone. Remember we are alternating between the white yarn and the yellow yarn. Okay, so I am almost done with this round again, and let me just show you for the last time how I finish off the round, so that when you do yours by yourself you'll be able to do it. So that's a double crochet, a single crochet, and the last one will be a double crochet. And then you're going to slip stitch in the very first single crochet that we did. Make a slip stitch like that. So next we are going to introduce again the white yarn. So let's do that again. So you're going to pull this loop up here and then tighten off the yellow yarn, but do not cut it off. And then we're going to start with the white yarn. With the white yarn you make a with the white yarn you chain 1, and since we started with a single crochet, this time you're going to start with a double crochet to keep up with the pattern. Then a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet, and continue with the pattern onwards until you finish off the round and move to the next rounds. So let me see you at the end of the other rounds. Do re mi, do re mi. Alright guys, now that is the very last round. I have gone ahead and made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds, and that is where I'm going to stop. So I'm going to chain 1 like that and then tighten it off and cut it off like that. And then now this is what we have. So if you want yours bigger, you need to change the foundation chain, or if you want smaller, I don't know why someone would want a smaller one. So the white one, I'm just going to tie it together with the yellow one, and then I'm going to weave in the ends. And weaving in the end, that is where you will need a yarn needle, but sometimes I don't use the yarn needle. Sometimes I just use a smaller crochet hook. Okay, this is my yarn needle, and then I'm going to turn it on the wrong side and weave it in on the wrong side. Nice. So now you can't even see my yarns, right? And don't worry about this because it's going to be on the inside like that, so don't worry too much about it. This is the seam line, you can see it. So next we're going to do the lower side of the bow. Okay, so now you're going to make a slip knot. We're going to start with the slip knot like that one, and then you're going to chain 1 and 2. So after chaining 2, you're going to make a single crochet in the very first chain that we made. So 1 single crochet. Let's try to weave in this end. so that we won't have to weave it in later on. So that's one single crochet. I hope that this doesn't confuse you guys. Yeah, so that's one single crochet. So to move to the next, you're going to chain one, and now we are moving to the next row. In this next row, we only have like one stitch, this one stitch here. So in that stitch is where we're going to work. We're going to work one double crochet. That is one double crochet. Remember to weave in that part also. So I hope that you're not confused with the ends. I'm just working a normal double crochet, and then in the same stitch I'm going to place one single crochet in the same stitch. So that's one single crochet, and remember we have now one double crochet and one single crochet, and we started with a single crochet only. So moving next, let's weave in the end there, and now we are going to introduce the white yarn. So the white yarn will, okay, we're going to make a slip knot first of all, just to make it secure, and then you're going to pull up this loop and tighten the yellow yarn on the white. So next you're going to chain one, and then you're going to turn your work. So after turning your work, you only have 2 stitches in the last row, and we're going to work in those 2 stitches only, and we're going to go all together with all these yarns. So you're going to go into the very first stitch and make a double crochet, because we did a single crochet in the last row. In the next stitch, you're going to make one single crochet. Remember to weave in all the ends, and then in the same stitch you're going to make an increase and make one more double crochet. So with that, we're going to bring in the yellow yarn again, because we are moving to the next row. So you're going to bring up the yellow yarn, pull it up into the loop, and then you're going to tighten the white yarn. After tightening the white yarn, you're going to chain one, so you're going to chain one and then turn your work, and remember to weave in the ends. So let me show you the stitches if you can't see them. You have to ensure that you're working on each stitch, because we are making increases. So in the very first stitch, you're going to make, yeah, that is the first stitch there. So because we're going together with these two ends of the yarns, it looks a bit confusing, but we're going to work in that very first stitch. So you're going to make one single crochet, so that's one single crochet, and then into the next stitch you're going to chain, you're going to make one double crochet, sorry, and then the last stitch there we're going to make one single crochet, and then to make an increase in the same stitch you're going to make one double crochet, and that is the end of that row. We're going to move to the white yarn. So you're going to pull it up this loop and then tighten the loop. So you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work, and because we did a double crochet in the previous row, we're going to make a single crochet. We're going to start with a single crochet, and the next one will definitely be a double crochet because we are alternating. And then a single crochet, and we are in the last stitch. So in the last stitch we make increases, so that is 1 double crochet and then 1 single crochet to make an increase. So you see how it looks like a pyramid. That is because we're making increases. So we'll be making increases until we reach the point where we will not make increases anymore. So we bring in the yellow yarn, I forgot to chain 1, but I just did 1 double crochet over there, and then I made a single crochet and then a double crochet. So there is no problem if there are people who do not chain 1, but I started with chaining 1, so I just forgot. So in the last stitch we make increases as usual. So I made 1 double crochet and 1 single crochet. So this is what I am using to know how far I'll go. I want the width to be the same with that one, with the other part of the bow. So you're going to chain 1 and then we start with a double crochet because we ended with a single crochet. And then a single crochet, a double crochet, a single crochet, a double crochet, and so that's the last stitch. We make a single crochet and a double crochet. So we are almost there. We will move 1 more row. So we're going to bring up the yellow yarn and start working. So you're going to chain 1 and then we will start with a single crochet because we ended with a double crochet in the previous row, and then the next one is a double crochet, a single crochet, a double crochet, a single crochet, a double crochet, and in the last stitch we're going to make 1 single crochet, and to make an increase we also make 1 double crochet. And from now onwards I think we are done with the width that we wanted, so we're not going to make any more increases. So from now on it will be a straightforward pattern. So we're going to bring in the white yarn. Remember, it's still the houndstooth stitch. So chain 1, and each time we're going to start with a single crochet, and each time we're going to now end with a double crochet, okay? Because we're not making any increases. So that's a single crochet, a double crochet, a single crochet over there, a double crochet, and the very last, oh, that was the last stitch. So moving forward, we're going to bring the white or the yellow yarn, sorry, tighten it off with the white yarn, and then you're going to turn your work. So again at this point, so chain 1 and then make a single crochet, a double crochet. Remember, you will always start with a single crochet and always end with a double crochet at this point here where we are not making any increases. So guys, remember to always go along with the yarn that you're not using. For example, here I am going along with the white yarn. So from now onwards, we are just going to do the same pattern, because now we're not making increases, right? So you will have to have the same number of stitches all the way. But we'll be alternating the white yarn and the yellow yarn just like we had been doing. So each time you'll be starting with a single crochet and always end with a double crochet, and remember to go along with the yarn that you're not using. For in this instance, we are using the white yarn, and the yellow yarn we're going along with it. So I'm going to continue and make many more rows until I reach the length that I want. So guys, I have reached this point here, and let me show you the measurements. So from this point I just want to make the decreases to form this part that the one that I started with. Remember, I started with increases at this point, so the other side also have to look the same way. So that is what I'm going to do from now on. So the whole part where I was not increasing or decreasing, I am done with that part. So now next I am going to start decreasing. So chain 1, and then instead of starting in the very first stitch, we're going to move to the next stitch, which is the stitch where there was a single crochet there. So we're going to skip one stitch and move into that stitch and make a double crochet. We were supposed to start with a single crochet, remember? So next is a single crochet and then a double crochet, and then a single crochet and then a double crochet, a single crochet, and the last one we end with a double crochet. And then we're going to bring in the yellow yarn, tighten it off with the white yarn, going to chain 1, and then here we are also going to skip again the very first. We're going to skip the first stitch and move to the second stitch. So we're going to start with a double crochet, and then the next one is a single crochet, and then a double crochet, a single crochet, and then a double crochet again, and lastly a single crochet. So we're making decreases. That is why there is no pattern, there is no exact pattern, but just remember that where you did a double crochet, on the next row you have to do a single crochet, and where you did a single crochet you have to do a double crochet. So you have to learn how, you have to see how a single crochet looks like and how a double crochet looks like, so that you don't mistake them. So like here we have skipped the very first one and made a single crochet, and the next one a double crochet, and then a single crochet again. That is because I am using the previous row to check if I did a single crochet, I'm doing a double crochet. If I did a double crochet, I'm doing a single crochet. So the last one here, the last stitch, we are making a single crochet, and then we're bringing the yellow yarn, chain 1. We're going to skip the very first stitch and move to the next one. So the next one we're starting with a single crochet and then a double crochet, a single crochet, and the last one a double crochet. So you see the stitches are decreasing in each row. So bring the white yarn and tighten it off and chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work So look at this here, we did a double crochet and we're going to skip that one, and the next one we did a single crochet, so that means we are doing a double crochet. The next one is a single crochet and then a double crochet. So that's our last stitch, and now we're going to bring the yellow yarn, chain 1, turn your work, and we're going to skip the first stitch, which was a double crochet. We're going to start with a double crochet, and then the very last stitch we're going to make a single crochet. So you see the stitches have reduced, and now we're only left with 2 stitches. So at this point, guys, we are not going to add the white yarn as usual because we're almost done. We're only left with 2 stitches. So you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and because we are decreasing, we're going to skip 1 stitch, and in the last stitch we're going to make a single crochet. So we're going to skip the first one, and then we're going to make a single crochet in the very last stitch. Remember, we started with a single crochet on the other side, so now they are the same, and with that we are done. So that's how it looks like, and let me show you the measurements. So that when you're making yours, you will be able to know the size that you want. So this one I just randomly did this size, so that is almost 19 inches. I wanted a longer tail of the bow, and the other one, this one is a little bit smaller, so it's about almost 6 inches, but it is not 6 inches. So these are the 2 things that we're going to use to make the bow. So now we're going to cut our yarns and weave the ends. So I'm going to chain 1, so I'm going to go all around with the yellow yarn so that I can give it a neat finishing look. If you don't like that kind of pattern, do not do this last bit that I'm doing. So right now I'm just going to make single crochets all around. So I'm going to randomly place single crochets in the whole of this tail. So remember to weave in your loose ends, okay? And with that, we are done with this tail. This is how it looks like after going around with single crochets. So I don't know if you can see, the ends are not very similar. Look at this side, it is a little bit steepy, and the other end it's like a pyramid, so there is a little difference that means I did not decrease in the same way that I increased. So that's the difference. So right now I'm just going to finish off and cut off my yarn. And now this is how they are going to look together. I have already weaved in the end that was loose, and this is how it looks like. It is very invisible. So now let me show you how I'm going to attach the two. Okay, so first of all, you're going to find the middle parts of this part of the bow, and then you're going to mark them. So this is how I'm going to mark mine. So I'm going to mark two sides. So those are the two sides that I have marked. You can see the seam line. And then this is how we are going to attach the tail on the lower side. So it should look something like this one here. So that's how it should look like. So I bring in this string that I had made, and then I'm just going to go all around and tie it on the two to attach the two together. So you will have to try as much as you can to make it equal. The sides should be equal. As you can see, mine it's not very equal, but you can always try to make it perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to attach them very tightly. So after doing that, I'm going to tie a knot with these two strings just to secure it, and then I'm going to weave it in. So that's how it will look like. So basically we are almost done. You can even leave it this way, but still we're going to do something extra. We're going to add a little bit. So right now I'm just trying to hide these yarns. So after you have weaved in the ends, you have to ensure that they are not visible at all, and that they cannot come out. Okay, so just to finish off, we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then make a single crochet, a double crochet, chain 1, move to the next row, make a single crochet, a double crochet, chain 1, and then turn your work and move to the next row. So I'm trying to make a rope, but using the stitch that we were using. So chain 1, make a single crochet, and then a double crochet. So I'm trying to make it enough for this part here, so that this part here can be a little bit neat. Okay, so after you have made enough rows, you're going to try it on and see which part you like. So I did not like this side, so I'm definitely going to turn it on the other side. So I'm going to place it this way, and then I'm going to sew it in using a yarn needle. So you're going to chain 1 and leave a long tail for sewing in to attach the two sides of the rope that we were making. So this is how we are going to sew it in together using my yarn needle. And with all that done, we are done. This is how it looks like, and now the only thing left is this little pin here that we're going to use to attach it to the hair, right? So this pin is going to stay at the back of the bow so that you can use it to attach it to your hair. And that's it for today's tutorial. See you on the next video, and please don't leave without subscribing, liking, commenting. Tell me how you find this hair bow, okay? If you love the video, tell me about it. So that's it for today. Bye guys, see you on the next video. Check out my other videos. Bye.